action research for this particular research question, and I liked the approach that it allowed me to use because it allowed me to see the effect of the intervention, but it was also customizable for individual students, and since it was already set up to be in a cycle process of that 4 to 6 weeks to meet with the SBS team, it allowed us to meet, talk about modifications that needed to be made, and then make those modifications as we went through the cycles. The second part of this presentation has to do with our PLC, which we do not have real PLCs at our school. We are aware of that. That is something that we have set as a goal for us for next school year. So this is going to kind of be based on our team, not necessarily a learning community. So the question that I looked at is, what strengths and challenges did this trust survey reveal about our 5th grade team at Northern Elementary? So our 5th grade team really only has 2 members. However, I went ahead and included our resource teacher as well, just so that we had some more data to look at. So the teachers have varying levels of experience here, and again, they're classroom teachers and resource teachers. The trust survey is the one I chose to give because it's simple, it's 1 page. I thought it would be a good one to use because it could look at where we are in the level of trust within our team, and that might help us develop that learning community that we want to be for next school year. So I did have all 3 members complete the survey, and then they put the survey in my mailbox when they were done with it. So here's a copy of the survey. It has some question where you just like circle the answer, and then there is a written response as well. And this was completely anonymous, so they did not have to put their name on it or anything. They just filled it out, put it in the mailbox, put it in my mailbox. It used 2 scales, so it has a DNA scale, or the disagree, neutral, or agree scale, and then it also asked how important that is to you. So the question could have been, I believe that everybody on my team has good intentions when they come to me with a problem. And then you could disagree, be neutral, or agree with that, and then you had to decide how important is that to you. Is it very important, somewhat important, or not important at all? So there's 16 of the survey questions, and then again there's 1 written response at the end, which is on how could we improve the PLC. I took all 16 questions plus the written response and kind of broke it into 4 categories. So we'll look at it based on questions that have to do with relationships within the team, communication within the team, collaboration within the team, and then how we could improve our team. So I started with communication and called this a strength of ours because 100% of our team agreed that communication is very important, and 67% of our team agreed that they were comfortable with other people correcting them and communicating with them within the classroom. 33% only said they were neutral, but since nobody disagreed, I consider this still a strength with us. So these questions were things that had to do with sharing our data, being honest, and then correcting each other when we see issues. The second area what I looked at was collaboration as a strength for us. It had to do with sharing our materials, resources, contributing to work, and kind of working together within the team. I said this is also a strength because the majority, 67% of the team, agreed that it is very important that we do have collaboration, and 33% that it's only somewhat important. So they didn't say that it wasn't important at all, but maybe not the most important thing to them. However, 100% of the team agreed that they feel comfortable sharing things, that they work well together, and that giving out resources was okay with them. For the first challenge, I selected our relationships section. And these are questions that would be like relying on our team members, working together outside of school, the intentions that you may have when going to speak to administration or something like that. Everybody said that the relationship part is very important. However, there was 33% that disagreed that everyone's intentions were always good, when they went to talk to their administrative people, leadership, or other teams in the building. So we definitely want to look at why these team members are thinking intentions may not have been the best at going to have this communication with administration. And then I also chose our improvement section as a challenge, because on that written response, all 3 members wrote something completely different. So one person said our team is just fine, we don't need to improve it. One person said that our team would be better if there was less competition within our test scores, that we'd be able to maybe collaborate a little more efficiently. And then the third person said that keeping the team together for more than 1 year would definitely help with this level of trust within the team. And basically, if that means your team's changing every year, if you have new people coming in, I could see where that level of trust could be hard to keep within the team. So based on our survey, we had communication and collaboration as our biggest strength, so we want to continue growing those. However, we really want to look at our challenges, which would be the relationships and how to improve. So remember, nobody agreed on how to improve. So that's definitely something that we want to sit down and have a discussion about. And then our relationships, the fact that 33% felt that not all of the team members' intentions were good, is also something that we need to take into consideration. So our next steps for the PLC, when I met with my team, we sat down and talked about the data, and we decided to focus on our areas of weakness. And we need to understand that it's okay to fail, it's okay to do things wrong, it's okay to have somebody come in and help you with things. We also decided that we would design some collective commitments. So if we sat down and said, this is what we want to get out of this, and then every time we come to a meeting, we're going to work to make sure that we're meeting these things. We also thought it might be good for the relationship piece, since that was a challenge to spend more time outside of school. Now, if our team remains the same, that would obviously be easier to spend more time over the summer, weekends, or on breaks together. And we also said we wanted to discuss the data, but also the methods that we're using to teach the content in our planned meetings. I have planned bolded here because we currently do not have planned meeting times. Since there was really only 2 of us on the team, it was just something we just talked about in passing. And then, of course, we wanted to make sure we're working with each other and not against each other, and that could have to do with those good intentions. And then, of course, next year our goal is to create a true PLC. So to make our PLC for next year, we really want to start with a shared mission. We need to know why we're here, and everything that we do needs to be working for that purpose. Using that then to create our vision statement, we want to make sure we're setting goals that have reasonable ways to measure their effectiveness and whether or not they were attained. We need to have those, again, collective commitments, like what are we going to do to make sure that this is what happens. And then we constantly need to be meeting to talk about these changes in our PLC and whether or not this relationship and improvement piece is getting better throughout the school year. So when I go back and look at our data for the PLC question, I did like the survey because it allowed me the ability to kind of go through the strengths and understand our challenges in our team that we can use to help create that PLC. I did think that it needed to be given to more people. I think the snapshot of these 3 people probably is not the most effective. Also because there's not very many people, it's a lot easier to kind of figure out whose is whose. So I'm not sure it was 100% honest either. So I think if we have our true PLC and we give the survey again with more people in the room or more people included in the data, it might give us more an understanding of the big picture here. So our next steps, we want to make sure we're working with each other, not against each other. We are here to work together to improve our students.